Well, welcome everyone. It's 2:32 on the clock. The 2 of the Divine Feminine, the High Priestess, the 32 of the Journey. It's been a little bit of tough energy this past couple days. Magenta Pixie was just out talking about a 10-day window starting from the 17th, which is exactly where I was starting to have some negative energies coming into my field. There was a video I watched that I probably shouldn't have, and I felt like there's some negative energies attached to it. But the 17th and 18th, actually yesterday was a little bit better, but I'm feeling really good today actually. So I want to first give you some, this is from my Om tuner. This is from Soma Energetics, by the way. So I just want to give you some grounding energy of the Om. I was definitely getting that energy of needing to ground with the lower tones, which will come up in part of my read. So let's go ahead and give you a little bit of that sound. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath, and you might want to send some love out to the world anywhere you'd like. And one more deep breath. Sending white light out all around the world, sending blessings and love to you all. And thank you for being here with me and sharing your time with me. Let's roll the die first to get that taken care of. And I have 3 Metatron Deck reads. The one from today is most important, but I want to give you the first 2. The second one's really short, but I want to give you the first 2 because they definitely lead up to this third one today. And then the big read on the table for you for the Twin Flames. So for today, which is the 20th of March, 2022, the 20 is the Judgment card, which has to do with the wake-up call and announcements and perhaps making decisions as well. And also, let's see, so today adds up to the 19 of the Sun. So yesterday was the 19 with the Moon, the Sun and the Moon, and today is the 20th with the 19 of the Sun. And so then tomorrow is the 21st with the 20th, with the 20 addition. Let's see here. That doesn't make sense. 19, 22, 28. So no, I'm sorry, yesterday wasn't the Moon, it was the 28 of the Twin Flames. I actually wrote it down as an 18. So yesterday was the 28 of the 2 of Wands, of that choice of path. And so then today is the 29 of the 3 of Wands and being present in the moment, along with that 20. And so then tomorrow will be the 30 of Union, the 4 of Wands, with the 21 of completion. What a nice energy. And it's the first day of the year, of the first day of spring. So let's roll a die and see what comes up. And we're starting this Metatron read from the 18th and the 19th and then the one from today. But the first 2 I'm going to keep short because they're just really some energies I wanted to preface with in order to lead into the one from today. And for the Twin Flames, this March 20th, 2022, as tomorrow's the first day of spring in the year, we have the Sun. This is very significant. Remember the symbol of the circle with the dot in the middle where all roads lead home. The symbol of the Aries here, the ram of getting started in Aries, which is where we are right now. How perfect. And then we also have the number 9, which is the whole, the infinity, the collective, the hermit that goes within, the Virgo energy of September going into Libra, as well as endings and completions there. So we have very much that energy of the Sun in springtime and that Ram energy of starting off the new year, going from Pisces into Aries. But also Leo with the Sun and Virgo. Very interesting because we're going from Pisces to Aries, but they're also showing us Leo into Virgo, which the Leo is the I am child, and then the Virgo is the purification of that going into the balance of Libra. So very interesting the way that's coming up today. As we go from the Pisces of having one foot on the other side already, going into the Aries, which is that very human energy of going head first, you know, without looking or, you know, thinking about it first, just taking that leap of faith. So we have this Metatron deck from the very first day, and I should have all the pictures on here. I definitely have the ones from today. Let me see what I have here. And this one starts, the bottom of the deck is clarity, and the first card out is the tree. Let's see what I have here. And the first, yep, this is the one. Okay, so this is the first one. And the way they're always set up the same way in the beginning, right? Because it's basically this 12-card read with the underlying energy. So this is the bottom of the deck. And then if I get more than 12 cards, well, I usually do 21 because there's always at least 21 cards that come out. I wouldn't deal them if they weren't coming out. But I have 12 and then these 3 here and then up to 21, but sometimes there's extras here. And sometimes I'll get even more and then have a little addendum message at the bottom. So that's the way, the order of this. So the bottom of the deck here, the first card out is here going across, okay? And these are, I'm sorry, these are the last cards. So they go across here and then from top down. So this is this first read. And the colors, I'm not going to go through the colors and elements for the first 2 readings, as I'll do that for the one from today. But I really want to get into the setup of this third read. The underlying message here, it went right into the auric layers of the body and the attachment of the chakra system, right? So the chakra points and the different auric bodies were coming up. So if you want to go online and check out the different auric layers, the 12 auric layers of the body, you can, but that was coming in as very important for us to understand. The message in the bottle that you are, to speak and be heard. And really, you know, tuning into your authentic inner child self, which is bringing up that Leo energy. And again, you use that, any kind of clearing that brings you joy, right? You can imagine the magnet above your head, the healing hands above your head, right? The magnet pulling out all that's not serving you, and then the healing hands to put back in and heal the energy that is in you. But whatever works for you that makes you feel joyful and connection, especially with somebody else, if they're willing to give you some healing as well. And then the sealed organic structure that you are, the key to the clarity of the shadow, go within. Shower in diamond white light. And I was noticing how peaceful and beautiful and still it was outside this day, which was on the 18th. At 1:47, which is the Magician and the 7 of Cups of synchronicities and heaven in your eyes and lots of choices and options, which can lead to confusion at times. But the tree of life, travel on with from the orange to the gold, which is that purification of whatever dirt is in the gold, like to clear it out to the gold. Clearing the dirt from the fold and the field, the unseen layers of the chakra system. So again, going into the chakra system more in depth. So then it was 2:14, so I was getting Valentine's Day, and the tree of life, to travel from the orange to gold in purification. The orangutan comes up, which is literally the orange and the human. So the forest man or the vegetarian type of man energy comes up from orangutan, right? Because orangutan looks like a very hairy man. And then the gold, which is GO, and then LD, which is to go logarithm to the base of 2. And notice logarithm is the logos and the rhythm, the word and the music, and the bass clef, which was coming up today, is that lower energy of the Om, as opposed to the treble clef. The bass sounds were coming up regarding the 2 of word and music. Go logos rhythm to the base of 2. 2 on the whispering bench with low notes of Om, the universal consciousness. And also Om is home, home with Ma, as you say, Om, Ma. With the King of Swords, number 51, purifying innocence of diamond light. With feathers and wings, thanksgiving each day. With healthy food and gratitude, synchronicities and blessings. The Om is coming up very significantly here, and the symbol of the Om that looks like a 30 with an arc and a diamond up top, like the crown, the void, the pause to go within, into union with Source. Boundaries each day of love, light, and nature, a higher love path with the auric key, which remember, auric of AU is gold, and coming up regarding the solar plexus here. The auric key, the gold ray solar plexus to the crown, to the golden gate of the sun Ra, the ray, the portal which all roads and rays lead home to, the archway of circular flow as opposed to sharp 90 angle degrees of doorways and steeples of 51 to 52 degrees, even so. In feng shui, the corner are considered poison arrows and dust collectors of stuck energy. The right angle, which reflects the quarter of a circle, is the arc on the outside of the circle. But below 1/8 of the arc, it gets hard to be seen. It's seen as a straight line as opposed to an arc because it gets so small, like a 32nd or a 64th note, and so on. A corner always reflects a portion of the circle, either a square or triangle or diamond, where the circle always displays the arc of energy of the line, the bridge, the leap from point to point, the field between two energy points or two humans, the quantum entanglement of overlapping auric fields of the golden sun, and then adding dimension, which notice dimension is diamond's connection. ION is ion, it's connection. So then they were leading me down this path of connecting the Vesica Pisces as the two diamonds together. And again, that idea how when you draw a triangle, the circle around it is just the arcing from point to point, because there is no straight line, they're all arcs. So the triangle with a circle around it is showing you the energy arc from point to point of that triangle. And it's the same with a square inside of a circle. It's still just showing you the energy point from point to point. That becomes the circle around the square. So then they were showing me the Vesica Pisces of the two circles together and the two diamonds inside the circles together, and how the twin flames come together in their energy between their own masculine and feminine, and then coming together right in the middle, the part that merges of the masculine and feminine. And then they were showing me movement of the square within. There was this energy regarding the different degrees and that third, right, once you come together with your twin, that third energy is that the combination you make with each other in between. And the crows started barking at 247 here. The two diamonds are two triangles, right? Because diamonds are two triangles together. The diamonds are two triangles together equals the square with movement on an angle, right? Because the diamond is just a square, but it's usually showing movement of the square, because it's usually not an exact square. The diamond is more of a rectangular angled square. So it shows movement as opposed to being straight up and down. Anyway, there's this energy of movement. So then they're showing me to move the triangle or the square within the circle into different points on the circle to show movement, which then was leading me into the spirals of, rather than the phi energy of the 1.618, to the crystal spiral, which is supposed to be of a higher vibration. And then I found something, a video on someone who the same as me at that time, at this moment, because I never really looked at the crystal spiral before. So what's the difference between the phi and the crystal, and why is the phi spiral deemed as something negative? Because it's by Lisa Renee. She talks about how it's energy vampiring, because the phi coil literally eats up the energies prior to it in order to become the new, whereas the crystal spiral is multiplication. It just expands upon itself without destroying. So there's a very interesting difference between the two. But also, the guy I found on this video, I didn't write down the video, but you can look it up between the pi and crystal coils. It'll come up. But he found that by drawing the circles and the squares within the crystal spiral, literally the relationship between the square and the circle in the crystal spiral is phi. It's that 1.618 ratio. So no matter how you look at it, it comes up in nature. It's part of our world. Remember that we're not infinite in this 3D matrix, right? We're supposed to experience this earth world. It doesn't mean that that's all we are, but we're here for a reason, to experience these boundaries that we have within this earth plane and learn how to reconnect our inner self to our full self from within. But we're still here to experience being a human being. So we're still going to experience those lower vibrations. And again, even if the phi is considered a lower vibrational energy, it is of flowers and things like that, and it is of the pine cone. But remember, flowers die, and we're learning how not to die, how to transcend through death and just transition to the next dimension. This is the energy I'm getting around this. And it brought up some really, with that other video I told you I saw that put me in some negative energy. My guides were reminding me that it's not about his truth or her truth, right? Because we're all going to have different perspectives. It's just about the journey and the experience from this to the next step, right? Our journey. It's not about the end point. It's about our journey, which causes expansion in all other places as we go that we just don't see. And there's that energy of that invisible energy of the auric fields that they wanted you to look into again. So, and it's not about us pinpointing what's bad and what's good, which comes up in the reading from today again. It's about we're learning to transcend those things, how to transmute and how to alchemize the good to the bad. The things that we deem not best for our highest good, we can then change them into something that is for our highest good, as opposed to poo-pooing it or calling out somebody else who you see as bad. Instead of doing that, change the energy, right? So this is the whole point of that. If you get pulled into some negative ties like I did in the past couple of days, remember it's not about the good versus bad. It's about learning how to make the trash into treasure, how to turn the lead into gold. And that's different perspective for each person. So remember that. And so there was this connection I was getting. Remember how there's that framework of the 3D, 40, 5D, where the 3D is 1, 2, 3, the 4D is 4, 5, 6, the 4D bridge, the purgatory, the rainbow bridge, whatever you want to call it. And then the 7, 8, 9 is the 5D, right, on the other side, which is considered a jump-off point to all the other dimensions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, we're coming up as a relationship of the 3 sections. So the 1 relates to the 4, the 2 to the 5, the 3 to the 6, and then the 4 to the 7, the 5 to the 8, and the 6 to the 9. And I've already brought the 6 to 9 relationship to you as that pod, where the 2 spirals, whether it's the crystal or phi spiral, and now I'm getting that it really should be both, right? Because the 6 is the lower dimension of Earth, and 9 is the higher dimension of Source, which makes sense. So we have the crystal energy and then the lower Earth energy, which may be distorted, which we understand because that's what we were supposed to experience right now in order to bring it back up to a higher dimension. So the 6-9 energy is that pod of the 2-eyed black hole, right? The 2-eyed needle of the push and pull, the twin flame energy of the quantum energy, which is not a black hole, right? They don't know everything about it as of yet. I suppose somebody does, but it's not work that's out there in public so much. But the black hole, Cryon talks about it as the quantum energy of the twin flame, that 2-eyed needle. And I was getting the 69 pod of the 2 spirals coming together, which makes a pod of the 8, which is the 8 of infinity, along with the 9, right, which also can represent infinity, and the 6 being of this world, right, that lower dimension. So pulling the 6 to the 9 through the 8 of the double-eyed needle of that black hole. Very interesting the way that's coming up. But also, the leap was coming up as the number 2 between the 1 and 3. The leaping before somebody else tells you to jump or go, right? Doing it on your own accord as opposed to being told to, not being directed, but following your internal guidance system. 2 to leap as the 3 comes in. So you have to leap before you get the third. Again, it's having that leap of faith, right? Doing it before you know what the outcome will be. You have to do it for yourself, not for the other, for that to bring that other thing in. You do it because it's what's best for you. It's what's in your knowing, what makes you happiest. The do-si-do of knowing the exchange and the timing of it. That 2 equals 3/4 of the number 3. And then what's left of the 3 at the bottom is an upside down arc, like a boat, as opposed to the bridge. And then they were giving me the energy of turning the key in the lock of 1, 2, 3, where 1 is the masculine energy. It's also the magician. And then the 2, 3, which end up being tied together as the 2 naturally leads into the number 3. And the 2 and the 3 are major feminine energies, the high priestess and the empress, holding hands here with the masculine separate number 1. The 2 and the 3 of the feminine energies join forces or align, leaving the 1 connection, right? The masculine is a direct connect to source, because the 1 isn't actually 1, it's 2 points connecting. It's your direct connect to source, the singularity arc of the channel or tunnel vision of the masculine, where there's 2 divine feminines to 1 divine masculine, which is needed in order to pull that energy up. So then the divine blueprint was coming up, and literally capital D and B pushed together is 1, 2, 3, which becomes 12 to 13, which is the father arc to the mother arc. The 12 to 13, and here's a little bit of a picture of how that worked out. This is D and B and how it looks like 1, 2, 3, and you see as the different pieces of the D and B come apart, they become like the 12 and the 13. And these are just some of the parts of it that were coming up here. And again, that sun symbol came up there, bridges to the number 3. The Christ consciousness to the 13 transition, which is the mother arc, the aqua ray, builds to the 8 of the 2 zeros together, which are also the 2 sine waves together, like the DNA strand, working together to expand the unexpanded, or those who haven't gotten to that level yet. Okay, so like I said before, the relationship between the 1 and 4 was the same thing as the 6 to 9 relationship becoming the 8. So 1 and 4 would become the 3 and so on. 2 plus 5 would end up being that 4, 3 plus 6 becoming the 5. And they weren't being so apparent as to a visual symbol like the 698 is so perfect in the way it becomes that 2-eyed needle. But numerology-wise, it made a lot of sense. So the 1 is the divine masculine, and the 4 is the home, which equals the number 3, which is friends and social life. The 2 and the 5 is the divine feminine plus freedom, which equals the 4 of structure and home. The 3 and the 6 is the social life and the love and family life, equaling the 5 of freedom. And then this 4 plus 7 is that home and structure plus the 7 of going within, equals the 6 of love and family. So it's showing when you're missing something, how you get back to it. And then the 5 and 8 is the 5 of freedom and the 8 of strength and dreams coming true, all your manifestations. And then when you have everything, you often hear these stories about how the rich man all of a sudden lets go of all they have to go within and find out what's it all about, Alfie. Okay, so that's that 5 plus 8 equals 7. And then ending up at the 6 plus 9 equals 8, that pod that we talked about, the 2-eyed needle of the black hole, the quantum energy, the twin flames of push and pull. The 6 is the family, love, family, community. The 9 is the higher level of that, of universal compassion and wholeness, ending completions and hermiting, which equal the 8 of dreams coming true, which is that pod, which notice POD is pay on death, which we're not dying, we're transitioning to the next next dimension, and the sine wave was coming up here as well. So then at 4:04, I go back to the read. So on path of the arcs and the steeples, the circles and the points, set boundaries daily for higher love and nature. Conquer your fears one step at a time, starting yesterday with angels helping others find their way. With synchronicity and gratitude and good water and food, beacon shine strong with waves beating strong against you. Shower with white light in that emerald heart of the physical body, right? Know you are human. Don't try to stay out of it because that ungrounds you. The saying today, use the Om to ground your body in your earth body. You need to function here. Grounding and integrating and mastering at that Y in the road, that's that G-I-M-Y, the jimmying of receiving love and the Knight of Cups healing their heart and being love in the Emerald Order, which are the initial souls, right, of human embodiment. The fire dragons of the pyramid, the diamonds and kites heating up the sun here, as we are the humans, remember, going back to our original lineage of 12 strands of DNA. The 4/8 timing for more staccato as opposed to 4/4, which is more bum, 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 bum. 4/8 timing is tut, 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 tut. It takes the same amount of time, but it sounds more like a quickening. It's the quickening of a pace, or so it seems, because it's the same time, a quickening of pace with the sun. Inner child, what weighs on you? Hear and know thyself. Reflect pink willows of ills and owies, the 11s and OUs, with compassion on reflecting whispering benches. Again, meet your twin in your private room at Akashic Records called the whispering benches, where you can sit on either end, yet still talk to each other if you don't want to sit next to each other, if you're not ready to sit next to each other. And then enjoy family circles, getting your wish, and self-happiness with that life bulb in the womb. The Page of Wands there to inspire, to self-love and nurture. Transition in the diamond light to fly free and spread your wings and breathe, especially now that the spring is here. The triple twos were coming up as all about, what's it all about, Alfie? And just 222 is right there, but it's about 6 twos, because that is the 12 coming together. It was coming like 2 dimensions, 2 diamonds, 2 almonds, 2 sine waves, 2 DNA. DNA is twisting. The mask comes up. All of these 2 symbologies were coming up regarding the coming together of the 2 in order to make that third energy, right? The Page of Wands and the Queen of Swords. After the King of Swords to the Knight of Cups, there's very much this energy of the parents with their children. And the Queen of Swords, Big Bird. Know your chakras. I was just getting know your crackers. Polly want a cracker? I don't know why crackers is coming up, but I was just getting fireworks too. The Queen of Swords, Big Bird. Know your chakras and your golden wings. Go logo rhythm to the base of 2, right? That's gold. Go the logarithm to the base of 2. The word and the music in the base sense of Om. 2 U's in anointing each other. Parents connecting with children. The Queen of Swords in energetic exchange with the arc and the leap of the ancestors, showing appreciation and healing. With the silver sword and the warriors of light in union with their own stones, finding your truth and accepting to all of it. From win to fall, let go of control. It's time for release. Allow the chaos of life and the sunlight to transform naturally. The twin flames untying the karmic knots of the electromagnetic grid like a Rubik's Cube and getting to the center of it and aligned. There's no straight line to the center, only curves and arcs and twists and shifts. Look out and go in through the keyhole to your knowing who you are and travel with it. Travel to the Golden Gate and back to the Om and home. Stand your ground and talk to yourself. And then the King of Swords on their way to the Emerald Heart of the Knight of Cups, being love, to reflect compassion for each other. And then the Thanksgiving, or the plethora of synchronicities to help you on your way to your dreams. The sunshine as the sun's rising in the spring, enjoying family horizons. From the red root of the shaman and the truth here, offering peace to the divine feminine in the purple moon, as we just went through that Virgo full moon, which was intense. I am Virgo, so it was probably infecting me a lot, which is probably another reason why I was having a little bit of a tough time the past couple days. The Queen of Wands, stretch and lunge in orange energy ray of the sacral to the gold cup of the pure replenishment and sudden bliss of inspiring to the ark, to the library or the special whispering bench room, to be wise in birthing the evolution of a new heart in the plasma ether bubble detached from drama. King of Cups or unconditional love, look up. The Page of Cups to the King of Cups, to the Divine Mother and the collective awakening to the spring and flowering or flowering. The Wounded Warrior's release of untapped energy. Give it up to Source, using the rainbow arrow as the archer with back-to-back of shadow stores. You know how the archer always has that backpack of arrows, right? So that's your shadow backpack with the sun in your face. Give it all up to Source using your rainbow, so pulling one of those shadow bows out in order to send it back to Source at 434 of the Emperor and the 34 of that Eight of Wands, that energetic exchange back and forth. And then I remembered I was seeing in my meditation us drilling through the desert and getting down to a source of water or an energy source or some kind of drilling where they have to, this came up too with Cryon too about the geomagnetic, the geo fields in the earth that we can use for heating. And perhaps water too, clean water, because right, you'll get really pure water down deep in the earth. But that it would be too deep for us to go all the way down, but that we would find an invention that would allow us to not have to go all the way down, like half the distance. And I was seeing that in the middle of the desert, of literally drilling down and bringing up water in the middle of the desert, which would be really cool, wouldn't it? So then the crystal spiral was coming up, so I was doing a little bit of investigating about that, and it was again showing me to keep turning the square to show how the crystal works. And I didn't know anything about the crystal at the time, the crystal spiral. I was just being shown to draw movement in the squares and circles. And then I realized when I went to Ascension Glossary, which guided me to that spiral circle, it showed me what I was drawing already before I even saw it. So this is how, you know, my guidance system shows me things, and then they show me the end result so I understand where it came from. So the second Metatron read from yesterday afternoon started I cut it at 228, which again is the 2 of the 2s that have been coming up, and the 28 of the twin flames. And I woke up yesterday morning with my dad, which was really cool. My dad passed away in 16. But I woke up remembering I was with my dad, and there was something black like coal under my fingernails, but I forgot what it was. I couldn't remember. I wish I did, because it felt very profound that when I woke up and looked at the clock, it was 7:02 a.m. on the clock, which is significant for me too, because that's the first day I met my twin. So, but I was still feeling that sad energy that yesterday morning. And then the day progressed, it was getting better, and today is much better. But I did a meditation that night with Vivian Chauvet, and where she went through the 7 chakras. And I was seeing a lot of wolf energy coming up. So then the Metatron read from yesterday at 228, where I started processing, the underlying energy was the orange card of the Queen of Wands. Let me show you a picture of that one. All right, so here's the second Metatron read here that I'm going to do. This is a short one. Again, it starts in the same place and goes across the 12 here. And then these up here go first there, and then these were extras right here. Okay, and then of course the first column is the underlying energies, with the bottom of the deck being at the bottom there. So that's the Queen of Wands. And she's stretching up and lunging to release energy. That was the underlying energy. And we were just talking about some orange energy from the first read. And the first card out here is the gold. So going from the orange to the gold, clearing out and purifying the orange to get to the gold. And there's a lot of colors in this one, with orange and red, but the yellow wasn't here, but the gold was. So going from the solar plexus, the green was there. And that's interesting too, no blues, not even indigo or blue. Going straight from the heart to the lilac and white. So the blues and the blue and yellow of the solar plexus were missing, which is my energy for sure, the blue and gold of my cord with my twin. And And fire was coming up yesterday. So at 2:38, I started processing the read, which was the Divine Feminine, and the 38, which is the Queen of Cups, which reduces ultimately to 2. Normally, if it's a power number like 11 or 22, 33, 44, you don't reduce it to the single digit. But 3811 is the way it be written, but it is a number 2 ultimately. So the Shaman red root of 55 in this deck, and 55 in numerology is the Ace of Swords, is the truth. And Mount Shasta was coming up because that comes up as the root chakra. And I was guided to look it up to see if anything came up around Shasta and 55, and I didn't find much except for the Green Butte Ridge, which was grade 2, class 3, from 35 to 55 degrees, and the slopes there. And it was 2439 miles away from me, which is funny that came up. So Mother Earth, Terra Gaia, awakening and expanding, creating and being fed from the sacral chakra, which was coming up as Lake Titicaca. The Queen of Wands energy here of the Lady of the Lake, right? Bringing the sword out of the lake. And that's at Peru and Bolivia in the Andes, which is the highest navigatable lake in the world. Releasing energies by stretching and lunging to connect and attune. At 250, the Divine Feminine and emotional fulfillment. The truth of the Empress and the Queen of Wands. And the Shaman here. The fire of the earth chakras, number 1 and number 2, which is the masculine and the feminine. The one of the gold of the Ace of Cups and sudden replenishment. That was the first card out. And the arcing or arching inspiration in that aha moment. From the root to the sacral to the solar heart connection, leaping to synchronicities of abundant universe and blessings. Many options here at 256 of the feminine and being in your knowing. And healthy food, opening the crown to heaven in your eyes, and the silver sword, warrior of light, melding into the emerald heart in union with the Knight of Cups, inner child. From Shasta to the crown of Tibet, and the Lady of the Lake melds with the heart of the Glastonbury to know their inner child and the weight of the world they feel, to rise and be love or rise above it at 303. The dragon fire, the fire dragon, the strength of the sun to nourish and burn. Be careful, Queen of Wands, Leo, crouching tiger, hidden dragon, where the tiger has position, but the dragon hides behind them. Find satisfaction with family and circles of trust. Hermit, take action with shadow bird, where movement is needed. The Queen of Cups, light body, release, physical release here, or actually psychic release of the etheric body, to the dragon sun, to find truth of silver, to inspire the gold of infinite possibilities here. And then in the cards, I, Dragon, Warrior, Holy Grail is coming up. So the I of the chakra system, the lowercase I, and the I am presence. And then dragon was coming up as Dr. Agon, which came up as meaning argon, which is atomic number 18 of the moon, or the purple moon, and AR, or argos, which means idle or lazy, or inertness, being still. And agon also means the struggle between the protagonist and the antagonist, the contest, to go, depart, to go out, a board game, the Greek contest, and athletics and music, or the intellectual conflict or competition of ideas. The struggle of conflict, or in other words, what I always bring up is that feeling of being paralyzed by your passions. The warrior of the war and ryar, which means a kiln, something that dries things out, or horns, to admonish, to instruct or tell someone off. A mustache, blood, ours, us, or to laugh or make fun of. The drowned river valley, or to flood a valley in the whole of 0 point, where all roads lead home on God's rail, right? It affects us all. So if you flood the 0 point, you're not just flooding yourself, but you're flooding everybody. The aha moment, or the arc of inspiration, where endings each day you are held at a 45-degree angle of the crystal coil of compassion, as opposed to the phi coil. The lilac castles in the clouds against the purple moon, where all roads and all rockets lead home to higher realms and magic. Let go of control. It's time to release from wind to fall, reflecting with compassion, self-love, spiritual love, and new love. The Knight of Wands with a love for life, and leading the way with flame in hand. Answer the call to dance with the Knight of Swords, to discover the key to freedom from entangled thoughts at 3:39, which is the Empress and the Knight of Cups. Authentic self, who are you today? The key, inner children, shower with diamond white light and go within for clarity on your shadow. Pink for compassion for self-love and nurture, and the Page of Wands shell in the life bulb of your womb, which shell, notice, is Sheol. Sheol in lie iron or irony, which is shell in life bulb, literally. Sheol in lie, or therein lies, Sheol in lies, the irony. BU, logarithm to the base of 2, or BU, the word and the music, to the base of 2, or the bass clef, the C of the bass clef, which is like the spiral, whether it's the phi or the crystal spiral, the F clef, the low sounds versus the high sounds of the treble or G clef, sends womb rays out to the universe after showering with white light. At 3:43, which is the Empress and the Three of Cups coming together, fly free in the diamond light and breathe in transition as the Queen of Swords, big bird with priorities or chakras and auric layers and your wings. Indigo is whole and complete and connected to the stars. Aqua rose gold heart to the golden gate. Take the number 33 to the golden gate to get to the 99 of infinity and beyond. Go to the whispering bench with the King of Swords, with Christ's love of unity and peace, and the Queen of Swords and King of Swords, one the gold rainbow and silver and white, the diamond in the rainbow arcs, the wind beneath each other's wings, and connected in the heart at 3:50, which is the Empress and emotional fulfillment of that 10 of Cups. So now we get to the final Metatron read from today, which was at 10:24 today. Today, again, is the 20th of Judgment and the wake-up call, perhaps making decisions or some kind of announcement coming out. And it's also the energy of the 29, which is that Three of Wands, being present in the moment, especially to your gifts. At 10:24, which is the Queen of Wands and the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, a turn for the better, that trill of the 1-0, which we're talking about now. We want to not be in the 1-0, but the 1-1 is where we start to rise because we each become sovereign, right? The 0 is human embodiment of source, but we haven't really worked with that energy yet. When you get to the 1 is you're finding your sovereignty, but then when you get to 1, 2, 3, that's where the big stuff comes in, where the 1 is the 1 and the 2 is the 2 of the masculine and the feminine, and together you make that third energy. So, and then you're trilling in the 1, 2, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 2, 3, and going back and forth like that, as opposed to the 0, 1, 1, 2. You know, it's the energy of being able to stay in that 2, 3, 2, 3 energy and going back to 1 if needed. Very interesting the way that was coming up. So the underlying energy for this read and the picture for this read. So here is the one from today. The underlying energies, the bottom of the deck, first card out here, across, 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 across. These 3 across, 1, 2, 3. And then these down. And then these are an addendum down here that all came out. They were extra, like an extra little PS message at the end. So the bottom card was the Metatron card of 27, which is the Ace of Wands, that third energy, and the arc of the bridge, the rainbow bridge. And the first card out was Mother Earth, which is 18 in this deck, which for me is that purple moon energy of the 0 point, which doesn't usually match with the picture in this card of Mother Earth and the fields and an ice cube. But I like it because it gives me that contrast to expand past what I normally think of the moon. So the colors that came up today were yellow, which didn't come up yesterday, and red, which again is the root chakra, and gold, and indigo. Okay, so going from the root to the solar plexus, and then the third eye to the gold, and then we have fire as far as the elements today. So again, fire yesterday, fire today. So a lot of fire coming up, but we have earth here too, with the earth card coming up. So we have some grounding energy here with the fire, which probably why it feels better than just fire yesterday. So the underlying energy today, as I start, was at 1035, which is the 35 of the Wounded Warrior. And it took me right up to that DB again of Divine Blueprint, and that the DB equals the 1, 2, 3. And then it was showing me more pictures about the 1, 2, 3 of the 12 and 13. And again, the 13 of the Aqua Ray, the Mother Ray, and the 12 of the Father Ray being the principal. But the 1, 2, 3 was coming up as, I was getting this picture as well that I showed you the other day, that this is the, this symbol with the line in the middle and the 2 parentheses is another symbol for M. It's like an old way of writing M. And then the 3 in the reflecting is basically another symbol for the 3, 6, 9, because there's 3 symbols in the middle here, but also referencing the middle energy of kind of balancing and taking off. But it was also referencing that 309 energy where instead of 3, 6, 9, we're being shown the 0 because we're here in the 0 point moment right now. We don't need to see the 6, right? Because we're in the present moment. So they're all kind of interrelated there. And remember that the circle with the line down the middle is pi. It's that balanced energy between the masculine and feminine within yourself before you learn to dance and expand and change, like angle your movement. So, and it was weird too. I remembered another dream this morning, which I don't usually remember my dreams. It was funny. I was actually in a hospital, and I don't remember being worried about why I was there. And it was so weird because someone I knew was the doctor coming in, but he was actually an actor pretending to be the doctor, and I knew that. But I felt like I was actually a real patient, not an actor patient. And then my nurse had really short hair, and the doctor didn't know, but this was actually like the love of his life, but he didn't recognize her with short hair. It was really weird. It was a really weird dream this morning. So as I start here, we have the number 2 of the High Priestess, Divine Feminine again, that number 2 being so important here, the middle number of 1, 2, 3, where timeout is needed in the purple moon, the 0 point. And the number 2. And as I looked down, I was noticing the initials MJS, which is funny because that's they were both my son and daughter would have 2 out of 3 of those initials correct, MJS, but it also is like Matthew, Jenna Stainthorpe, MJS. So it's like literally bringing both of my children into the mix of the 3 here, and then the 2 being in the middle. Again, the middle point being so important here, and again the shape of the 0, right? The feminine alchemy is the shape of the circle, and the masculine is the triangle of change. And also the middle is coming up as, door number 2. The fire dragon of strength and sun pyramid or triangle of that triangle of the masculine and alchemy of change, and the delta, where he brings the structure and she brings the light from point to point. So going from the triangle, then arcing the light, she brings the light to make the circle around the triangle. But the 3D here in the picture, it's 3D, not 2D, because we're not looking at a triangle, we're looking at a pyramid. So pyramid, the word was coming up, and the sphere that would go around it, the ball. So pyramid broken down is pi, which is the circle with a line down the middle, and then Ra, R-A, which is also the ray of sun, and then mid, which we've just been talking about, things in the middle. But it also could be the M of the 1 and the 2 parentheses with ID and identifying or interdimensionally. The pyramid and the sphere, the pi, ra, mid, and the sphere of the SP and here, which is the divine masculine housing of the P, along with the pi, the circle and the line down the middle, and the chakra system, needing to bring the ray to the middle of SP here of the sphere, which is Sophia, and housing that's here, to bring the fire to the middle of the wood pile in time, creating space here for cool Sophia. So then the little drawing of pyramid was coming up as this, okay? Because the pyramid, the pi is the circle with the line down the middle, the ra is the rays of the sun around, and then the middle is the dot in the middle. So it's literally the sun, pi, and then the sun, again, with the rays around it, which is also showing the leap from inside the sun to outside. You see how the dots, the line isn't drawn straight through the sun. It doesn't connect, right? Because the pi is inside the circle. But this is showing the dots connecting in a leap from dot to the rays outside the sun, which parallels with what I was getting the other day about the implosion and going through the tube, making a leak in the tube to get out the other side. It looks like a leap because you don't see it from within coming out. Very interesting parallel there. So the SP, I was also looking up what else is SP. And there's a lot of political parties with SP for sphere. And SP, by the way, is also solar plexus, very significant today. Saadet Partisi was coming up as also Felicity Party in Turkey. From 2001, the Conservative Muslims Party, as well as Sao Paulo in Brazil, and Surat Paringatan, which is like orangutan, but Paringatan, which means warning letter, or in Indonesian or Malay, a reminder, a memo, an anniversary. It also is the Social Democratic Party of Switzerland. I'm not even going to try to say that in Swiss or in that language. But again, there are a lot of political parties coming up here. And then it also means preposition phrase, and the Socialist Party in the Netherlands, and then starting price, selling price, shore patrol, state police, slow play, service pack, superintendent, suppressive person, substance P, soft point, state park, spur, short program, which for me in gymnastics always meant compulsory. And then what wasn't listed, the obvious to me, were the first things that come up when you put SP into Wiktionary, which is like spring, spirit, spell, and speak, as well as space. So then the solar plexus was coming up, and again, that energy that I just showed you of the sun from the word pyramid, and if you take that pyramid picture and draw the triangle inside of it, right, because the circle is just the arcs around the triangle making the circle, and so if you draw the picture and you see the Merkaba there for the masculine and the feminine coming together with the arcs around and the spin of the Merkaba showing you how they come together, right, the masculine triangle and the feminine triangle, and how they arc together in the radius of their ray field, okay? And this is how you come together as the twins. And so the two pyramids, which become the sphere of light with the feminine energy, when they shine their light, they actually look the same, right? You don't notice them as humans anymore, or masculine and feminine. You see them as the same. So once the light shines, they all look the same. And then I was getting this big drawing of the chakra systems and how they actually come together, right? So here's the two Merkabas coming together. Okay, so here ultimately up top, and I think that one should be the other way around, but the way the masculine and feminine Merkabas come together as two separate humans, right? I wrote two as like an X and an X here for that one. But anyway, this is the XY coming together, the masculine and feminine, and this is like the whole body as they come together at the solar plexus, which I keep getting that the middle point is actually the solar plexus, because then the points at the top of the triangles become the heart and the womb, the seating points. And then there's two cups, so there's two fields. The first cups go up to the heart and the womb, and the second set of cups go up to the crown and the root. So I have to draw a more formal drawing of that so I can explain it better. But that's what I was getting today. The solar plexus pointing to the heart and womb, shining the light, the soul star and earth star. There's a lot of relationships that are coming up here. So I'll have to make a more specific drawing on what was coming up here. But anyway, the underlying energy at 1151, which is justice of the King of Swords, which can be a Libra King of Swords as well. The purple moon and the crown here, to the fiery root and the quantum leap of the high priestess to the sun, her portal being round and his portal triangular. Rays or rocket through her womb or her sun portal, where she is the shape and he is the direction. And there's a line from my song, Christo Sophia, where you know, they got it wrong about the key, that you are the sun in me, because she is the portal where he is the rays, but he rays out, he shines because she is within him. The divine feminine, number 2, is the central sun portal that causes his rays to beam out, which came up the opposite the other day. And I guess that just depends on who's got more masculine and feminine in their chart. So it can, go both ways. But outwards, so he beams outwards, right? Shines out in the more 3D kind of way. And then she beams upward in the more etheric kind of way, as the quantum leaps within and without, the explosion and the implosion, both under pressure either way, learning how not to feel the pressure, knowing all is well, just a little spell to go through and then a story to tell. Arcing with inspiration, the Mother Earth grounding support under the purple moon, the ice or crystal qubits with a Q is the superposition of 2 states, or in other words, more than you are alone. The 11/2 of the qubits with a C is the Queen's chambers of 11 qubits raised to the next octave of the C qubits to the Q qubits of taking that leap. To the solar plexus is definitely coming up here, the QE, which is the quantum entanglement. So from 1201 to 2, which is then the 12 of completion, but also the hanging out, being wise, seeing new perspectives of the masculine and feminine, 1 and 2, from the whispering bench to the quantum leap, in the growth in the fields, as well as evolution of the heart, birthing the new of the Page of Cups from the High Priestess Divine Feminine in the purple moon 0-point field of the torus and the toroidal field. So it's saying the different things. So going from the purple moon of the torus to the actual field around it, or the toroidal field, the pretty 2D picture becomes a real live heart of 3 to 4D. The Page of Cups to the Knight of Wands, going from that pretty picture that you've painted for yourself to an actual Knight of Wands and a love for life. From 0 point comes a field. Build it and they will come. From pure innocence of seed to the Knight of Wands of a beating heart. On the road less traveled from womb to crown and the golden gates, from the false matrix of the 10 to the 12, in the middle leaves 11, that perfect alignment or journey to clear the dirt from the engine to the pot of gold of unity and consciousness on the other side of the rainbow arc. Leading in dance of dark to light, or light on the dark, with flame in hand and ring of keys in the other, up those golden steps where there's more light to see, codependent in family division, locked at the root at 1211, and collapsing top down, skipping down the road as the Knight of Swords Highlander in the quickening and catapult, the clarion call to clear channel, to toot your own horn, to wake, listen, note, and tone, to hear the sound of your own voice inside, or hear the sound of music, aligning to your specific message in a bottle that you've come here to bring at 1217, which is the hanging man and the star. The twin flames are untying the karmic knots in the electromagnetic grid, the distortions of the solar plexus, and the light you're meant to bring. Not that nervousness energy of the solar plexus and the getting on nerves, but the butterflies who are free to fly and fly away as quick as they come in. They're so light and airy, like butterfly kisses. The twin flame quantum entanglement of 2 diamonds blocked from merging. So if you think of the 2 pyramids from flat surface to flat surface on the bottom, but unable to merge into the Merkaba, the twin flame quantum entanglement of 2 diamonds that are blocked from merging as the Merkaba, but without breakdown of either individual structure, which is the merging of the sovereignties without losing your sovereignty. So the 2 diamonds coming together first must merge within one self before you can merge as 2 wholes as one, or then becoming 3. The 2 apart and the part of you that becomes together as one, which again, there's that reference of the star of the Israeli flag that comes together when they merge. And remember that Jesus was actually born a Jew and then brought back together by the X in the middle. There's an X in the middle. Then doing the 8th dance to merge wholly of the 5E8 into the 12th dance, which is the mother, father, source energy, ultimately. So we have this energy of you know, just shifting the Merkaba together once the two triangles come together in the Merkaba, and then shifting them around to make it a 12-petaled flower, and then ultimately the 24 and 48 as that goes up and up and up to that ultimate energy of source energy, where all roads lead home, or the points in every going out in all directions of this Merkaba is the same place where all roads lead home. So again, the points that explode out into every direction are the same points that all lead home to one point. So the aqua pink rose gold heart of love and the 6 of relationship and harmony of our world to the 9 of a higher heart and love of direct connection to source through coiling and blossoming with the carpenter bee pollinating the buttercup yellow of the twin flame template of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, the gold with black stripes of the bumblebee with wings, or the gold coil with space to fly, and flower who reflects under his chin, making magic within him at 1238, which is the hanging man, and the 36 of the atlas and the weight of the world. As Big Bird, Queen of Swords, focuses on building blocks for life and remembering that divine blueprint of the 1213 of the Father and Mother, the connection in the arc, and then to arc again. The rainbow rays, the chakras, the shocking of the rays, the triangles or the trying of the angles, of new perspectives and spreading your wings to higher octaves, of the big bird of be God, be I God, and be I road, the road less traveled. The 13 of the bee, the capital B is 1-3 of the chakra system, of the collective 9 or the crystal coil that's under research and development at this time, showering with diamond white light to shed light on the shadow within. And remember that dimension is diamond's connection, which equals 2 almonds or 2 eyes or 2 petals, or the infinity, that the 2 dancing together can create beautiful music in the field at 1243, which is hanging out, being wise and coming together, or resonance in the park and the sound of silence in that ever igniting spark. From 15 to 16, even to 17 here, of the shadow to the spark and then to your dreams, go for the gold as the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail, the hole at the Y in the road of God's rail to infinitum. What 2 coils together that God has brought together, let no man put asunder. We're all God's children. It's not about the separation or taking sides of what is good or bad, but rather transmuting and alchemizing a negative into a positive, making a trash a treasure, a difficult lesson a blessing in disguise. You see, it had to be masked because you wouldn't see it for what it was until afterwards in hindsight at 1255 and 2020 vision of hanging out in the truth. Sometimes curiosity kills the cat. All about the intent behind the curiosity. Was the curiosity to understand why your perspective was wrong when it never is in every moment? For every perspective leads to a higher perspective. And if you force yourself lower yourself to someone else's perspective where yours wasn't wrong in the first place, you will feel the kickback to get you straight, or rather curved nicely again after being disjointed, back to smooth sailing. Conquering your fears one step at a time, dipping back into the old to test your continuity. The powers that be you thought knew more than thee, and they don't, at 101. Perhaps they have studied a lot, or perhaps they've tapped into their own knowing, which is different than yours. There's no need for us all to be the same, just the same collective family, 15 to 16 to 17 of the shadow to the epiphany to the dreams. All are needed to contribute to the whole. Follow your dreams, even if others don't get it. It's the process that counts, not the end result. You've missed the points of expansion to the field along the way, if that's the case, where the cosmos mirrors you. So wake up in their call. They're showing you what you're reflecting. The animals and nature are showing you the energy around you every day. This is what they're saying. You're missing the points of expansion to the field because you weren't paying attention along the way. They're always showing you what energy you're projecting. So look what the animals are doing. Look what the trees are doing. Well, look what's up in the sky and the noises that are happening outside. What's going on today? What's mirroring you? As the cosmos mirrors you, wake up in the wake-up call. Pause to receive healing. Magnet and healing hands. whatever brings joy to your spirit. At 107, indigo child, whole and complete, connected to the star that you are. So here we are today in the last day of the year at 108, the magician and the dance of the 8, between the masculine and feminine, of inner and outer strength, of dreams coming true. And the water for emotional well-being, the vehicle of infiltration. Remember, the icosahedron is I-cosa, I matter. And then hedra is the ivy, or continuous honoring of self. The 20 faces, which today is the 20, of triangles with dolphin curves and leaps and friendly disposition, and who loves to swim, float, and play, and to wag their tail back and forth to navigate the waterways, or emotions. Water the key, emotion is the key. The mirage of the diamond light breaking through the plasma ethers to the icosahedron crystals in the water and the plasma breath that you are. Sitting on the dock watching the sunset, being held in compassion at the end of each day, that 45-degree angle of the crystal curve, and also the 8 parts of the circle, in the dance of leaving the 44 behind to go to the 8 of the 5D. The Queen of Cups activated light body here, and reminding us that we're going to the dimensional gateway via Route 33 to the Golden Gate, which is like the 66, to the 99, which is infinitum, and then leap to the 10, 11, and the 12, 13, to receive the sun rays, the chaos of life's force, to illuminate the shadow pack behind you in the shade, waving flames of light in the dark, and expanding from contracting, and then reflecting in the middle again, a more comfortable place. From shaman roots and truth to peace treaty with Akashic records and wise angelic review, or in other words, humans and galactics coming together to make history. From TPs, how-tos, and feathers in their hair, to projections and records and growing wings up there. The diamond wings of the King of Swords of purity and innocence, enjoying the circles of family life, while his message in a bottle is about to be popped or uncorked. From sea to shining sea, the key to the arcs and castles is the watering and emotional hedges and stone henges. And when pressured from ocean to ocean, the rockets tend to go up instead of 1 to 1, or they tend to go up instead of your normal course, right? Because you're feeling pressured from our own oceans to go somewhere else. 1 to 1, also going with the river's flow, reflecting pink willows of love and compassion. As above, so below, to the castle in a cloud, in the purple moon, rocketing up, leaving a jet stream for others to follow, or breadcrumbs as you let go of control from winter to fall, enjoying it all, light as a feather, a spring in your step. At 148, which is the magician, and the 48 of the 8 of Cups, walking away and within. So there you go. And now we're going to do the read on the table for you. As we're at 108.11 it just was, or 108.10 actually. So the magician, the 8 of the dance and manifestation of dreams, and then the 10, which is the 10 of that turn for the better of destiny and the wheel of fortune. All right, so now we have the twin flame read on the table. And I keep showing, past couple days, I'm sorry, I forgot to show you the reads, but here, one second. All right. So here is the twin flame read for today that's on the table. This is the basic read from the SIRIAN STARSEED deck. And then here is the full 7 deck read. Okay, and for those of you who are curious, it's just an abbreviated of the Celtic cross, but it's more of an energy flow as opposed to the cross. And the decks, Romance Angels, Rider Waite Mini, the Tarot of Sexual Magic, the Universal Golden over there with the Numerology Tarot, and then the Gilded over there in the back, as well as the SIRIAN Starseed deck as the main deck, and I always pull Oracle cards at the end as well. So this was cut and dealt at 4:44 yesterday p.m., which is the angelic realms. And it was really interesting because the numerology cards were coming up as the underlying energy was 88. The first card out was 10, but then we had 33, 77, and 55, so all double digits. And then 88 came out again in cards that came out, and the 37 of unconditional love. So right away, those came out at 444, and then at 446, which 56 is the Two of Swords, of being in your knowing, and keeping your energy clear, the Four of the Emperor, or control, STARSEED came up. And somebody's name for me came up, but whatever that comes up for you as tar and seed. And the tar was coming up as the pine cone tar and the seeding. That was the first thing that came up too when I put it in, was the pine cone, because there was no word for tar seed, but the first thing that came up was the pine cone, which is tarry and gives seeds. And tar actually means store as well. So just the storage of the seed. And then the D was coming up as well, the divine storage of the seed. And the Queen of Wands ended up on the star card, literally like she's actually holding the laser that the star card holds. So that was significant. And right as I started this, a black cat started meowing at my front door, and he went and laid down on my deck in the front. And he's just looking at me like, yeah, what you looking at? So he was lying down, and that was at 510, which is the Hierophant and the 10 of that high vibration journey in the trill. And I finished clarifying at 513, which is the Hierophant and the 13 of the transition or death card. And the major arcana that came up were the Star card and the Starseed. Okay, so again, breaking down the star and the seed. And then before the read was Ascension and Strength, which is the World. By the way, Starseed is the Fool card. And then after the read, the Guidance or Hierophant card came up. 2 swords, 3 pentacles, 1 cup, and 3 wands. So 23 of the King of Wands and 13 again of the Death card, and transition came up here. And the court cards were the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands in the read, in the main cards. King of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. And before the read, the Queen of Pentacles came up. And after the read, the Knight of Wands came up. So that can also be a couple of the King and Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands. And number-wise, we had 4 5s again in this read. Very unprecedented, having 4 digits twice within a week or so. I mean, I rarely get 4 digits of anything, let alone coming up twice. And 4 5s came up recently. So we have 4 5s of that whole lot of change, which, right? So the 2 5s leads into the 1 or new beginning. 3 5s, again, is that devil energy of the odd number, which is the expansion, right? It's the difficult energy. And then going back into the 20, which is today. So the 4 5s is 20 of that wake-up call of the final judgment, because we're going into the whole of the world tomorrow in the first day of spring and the first day of the new year. We have double 3s, double 6s, and double 7s. The 33 of the Christ vibration, the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself without getting triggered. The 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, but it's also that Golden Gate energy, and of being of earth as opposed to the source realms, and the 77 of the sovereign and the sovereignty, and also the 1 of the magician and magician embodiment, the 13 of the death and transition, 35 of the wounded warrior, the 56 of the 2 of swords, which came up already, and the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal humble servant, as well as the 710, which is 0 behind the 71, which for me is the co-creation card of the 3 of Pentacles. So the code line here was all about spirituality and adventure, and it came up as the number 4 from 1 and 3, which is also the 1 and 3 of the magician and the empress, becoming the emperor, but also the 13/4, which is the death card. So regarding spirituality and adventure, and the King of Pentacles was definitely in the code line here, to say, or perhaps writing an essay, taking a time out, toggling up, or perhaps dealing with Tesla energy here, in expanding and contracting, or just reflecting in the middle, the acing of the King of Pentacles, or the mastering of time, money, and energy, of purging or being Christ-like, to see thee as 3 is the Empress or abundance, and IV, or the irony, to be cooked and ready to eat, only to receive ridicule, sarcasm, or a thorn in your side, perhaps. The 9th, the 9, or to be 9, to be worthy but not seen. And then the crystal curve was coming up here. Very interesting. right? Because remember that your auric layers are not seen, they're invisible, and God is not seen, right? The collective isn't seen. You know, your energy body on the other side isn't seen. So, and that comes up in one of the Journey of Love cards, I think. Like, what a waste it would be if you were ripened just to not be seen, basically. So it's the irony to be cooked and ready to eat, only to receive ridicule, sarcasm, or a thorn in your side, or to receive negative feedback, or none at all, or not be seen. Like, which is worse, to get negative feedback or not be seen? What is your perspective on that? To aspire the chakra system, the two-ality of you, or the IT, or I am a tool of Yule, that I am grateful for all of these things, even if they are deemed negative by others. Or advertising the JC law, to forge a cofferdam, to fly, or JC's landslide tour, his journey, his phase, his stage, his turn, his roundabout, or taking a ferry back and forth without disembarkment, right? Just enjoying the journey, not needing to be seen. It's all about the journey, not the destination. Say time, or someone who's sitting in boredom or apathy and can't be bothered. And get this, the word arsed came up again here. I never use that word. And since Robin Williams came up the other day, this is like the third or fourth time it's come up in definitions of words, like different words. So say there's say time, or like call a time out, or sitting in boredom or apathy, allow yourself that. Someone feeling like they can't be arsed or bothered. The King of Pentacles seeing the Empress's irony on spiritual adventure's path. Or Advent, right? The second coming of Christ. That Christ is coming back to be noticed this time, right? Or perhaps to be not noticed, or being noticed for all that he is, not just one perspective, but all of you who represent the energy of the collective template of the Mary Magdalene and Jesus energy. To be seen in a different way, or in multiple different ways, all of the sides that God is. The advent of the second coming of you as a reference, satisfying the one, the King of Pentacles, or by satisfying or acing, being Christ-like or purging, if the Empress is ripe and ready to be picked. The Divine Empress Mother is also coming up as the 13, satisfying the Emperor of the King of Pentacles, number 4. And the essay, a prayer, but the essay is a very powerful prayer here in writing, expressing with words, but also writing. The essay or prayer, or say a prayer, or wear it, but without lint. Ace the mastering of the purge and being Christ-like if the Empress is ripe and ready for the spiritual adventure. Aspiring the one to two-ality, right? The 1 and 2 of the masculine and feminine in their two-ality as two, in the second coming that you reference, or the advertising of the JC journey. That was the message that was coming up. That's pretty cool. Starting out with the 5 of Swords upright, the inner war at 611, which is the lovers and justice of alignment. The 6 of the lovers, the 11 of alignment, and beneath the 5 of Swords was Ascension upright, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Wands upright, the 5 of Cups reversed, and the Strength card reversed. Where the world is complete, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, presently recovering from loss, regret, or weak, or the Divine Feminine or Pisces, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, present to flame, and getting over the guilt, the shame, self in need of strength, or courage to leap through hoops or fight another day, and stretch from frog to prince, juggling the war within. The High Priestess reversed, secret passion, faces their worst fears, or their enemy, or their self, defending conflict, groups and games and the pursuit, tempting death or taking a poke or shot at the dark night, defeated, fighting death, fighting the end in dark night and transition and defeat, to win or to ride or die. But what if it's a tie? Is that okay? As the Empress is upright and the King of Pentacles is upright, receiving guilty party or taking in a stray from the 10 of Cups family, perhaps, with bad influences around, or those who party or socialize too much, or perhaps gossip there. At 625 is the Lovers and the Knight of Wands. Or perhaps one is not accepted in the in crowd here, who are actually bad influences anyway. Or the Empress and the King of Pentacles welcoming third party in or bad influences into their family, keeping their enemies closer. Or the King of Pentacles protecting the Empress from the guilty one in the family, or the odd man out, or the one who started the fight at the party, or someone returned from the dead. As Pisces upright, Leo reversed, Pisces reversed also, Scorpio upright, and Taurus upright here. Juggling third party with two saved for later. The Queen of Wands reversed broke up, or without affection getting over loss, regret, and withholding, or saving or playing hardball, or magnetizing a gold coin. The Queen of Wands reversed unable to keep their head above water, or over lover or Gemini reversed. Perhaps they were planning to offer them time and money and energy, but not anymore, or withdrew an offer. After the Emperor in the Tower event at the full moon, and the justice of peace or calm travel, or putting aside truth to make love, the King of Swords reversed, the Hermit reversed, and the King of Wands reversed. With Fairy Justice or Libra, who's peaceful, and the King of Swords reversed, Libra with Virgo in their chart, and the King of Wands reversed, refusing affections. No longer Hermit missing flame stuck between the King of Swords with multiples and the King of Wands with great affection towards, and one losing circulation and one no longer going to be checked up on, as the King of Swords with multiples and the King of Wands without affection, or he's just pissed off. With Libra upright and Virgo reversed, and the fire sign with an internal struggle about juggling, social distancing, anti-socialism, being too social, third party or lacking joy, or holy roller, or the fight between the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Wands reversed, and the Empress upright and the King of Pentacles upright, took in one deemed as the cheater. So if the King of Wands and Queen of Wands split after a fight, the Empress and the King of Pentacles took in the one who was deemed as the cheater. With time out and beneath it abundance, coming clean, getting clean, or cleaning up the actor's space, the Empress reversed and the Emperor reversed, and the underlying energies are here. They're either just really pissed off at the other two, or they are the King and Queen of Wands both reversed. They could be two separate couples or be the same couple. But in the underlying energies, the Empress and the Empress were both reversed in a breakup or pushed to their emotional limits, in a slow down, downturn, or twist of fate, or just in a hard time, working all hours with Ben and Charlotte, or being a good Jewish boy by candlelight, studying the Torah, or a bar mitzvah and being set free, or secretly researching at night, that sets them free, or on how to become free, or about the fool's journey, or studying the stars, astrology, or symbolism, the writing on the wall. Toggles and hoops, and Cancer, Sagittarius, and Jupiter here, with engines pumping or powering up toys, wearing hose for circulation, and jumping jacks for joy, or finally finished taxes and sweating it out, or pulling an all-nighter to be free during the day at 7:06, which is the Chariot and the Lovers. The Fool here at 7:07 is free to leap from frog to prince, with third party and done with holding and taxes, with the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Wands reversed, for abundant time out, or justice for peace and travel. Standing up to others with Pisces unafraid, but I was getting warfare here. I read it incorrectly, but I was getting warfare. Pisces unafraid to release self and speak up if necessary. And then the World, completion, the divine feminine, Pisces, and Aquarius, Libra, or star, and dreamers and healers, and justice, facing the enemy or your fears, or being dumped and the word getting out, which may be your greatest fear, or overwhelmed with the number of messages that you need to reply to and you'll never catch up. Or the worlds of healers and justice, at war with those without feeling or affection. The messages of children and the Page of Swords with words of the devil or the devil child, or one speaking in tongue and considered the devil child or the devil themselves. Or the Capricorn keeping the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands locked together on vacation, or exposing all and insecure without tools, and walking away or manipulated into walking away. And this could be a parent worrying about what their children will do while they're at an island or something on vacation, that they could be so easily led astray. And perhaps an announcement coming out, or a judgment or opinion, to the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community with dysfunction or loss, and then having to implement a plan with the High Priestess reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or Pisces reversed and Earth sign reversed, or a secret passion, Queen of Pentacles reversed, or the Queen of Pentacles who needs to use their intuition and integrity at 742, which is the chariot of the two of the soulmates or partners. The recent past with the star and healing or dreams coming true, or a healer or dream girl holding on, saving, being practical, or being given a choice or ultimatum. The Fool falls on the fall or from grace, or lacks faith in the justice system, or Libra Knight of Wands reversed, falling short or paralyzed by passions or fell off the wagon, with the King of Swords reversed, unfair or in debt, and destined, or Libra needing strength or courage to fight another day, or deal with the Queen of Wands reversed, or Libra upright and Leo reversed who are fighting, and the Queen of Wands reversed pretending not to know anything or kept to themselves, or is hoarding the tools, even though she has no use for them or no idea how to use them. And we have Aquarius, a Libra upright, and Aries, Sag, and Leo reversed here. The foundation is the Six of Cups upright of the loving children and soulmates or fond memories, announced to the King of Pentacles, or a wake-up call for the King of Pentacles to see the lack of joy of third party, sister, or suffering in silence, or perhaps a sister who's crying upstairs, unable to sleep, or having nightmares, and the war within between two little angels, or three who are no longer company, and the center energy being the Ace of Pentacles reversed, preparing for a new start, or standing up for oneself, saving for kids or soulmate, or a soul tie, the inequity of the return of a liar, cheater, thief, in deception, or up before dawn, getting away from the world, the neighborhood, the divine feminine, or the Pisces, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community dysfunction or loss. And at 7:59, the Chariot and the moment before, or the war within, is the challenge of the King of Pentacles, because the King of Swords reversed perhaps owes them, and is very well aware of that. The King of Pentacles seeing synchronicities, or with lots of options, and destined to weakness or illness, or destined to need a vacation to repair themselves, after sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange, or in avoiding disaster with the Queen of Cups, in a heated exchange, or not telling their true feelings, or expanding delay after delay, or experiencing delay after delay, or negative energies, and the High Priestess reversed, released from energy vampiring, prism, anxieties, or family or other friends that may be stealing from them, and no passionate exchange, only energy under the radar, or petty arguments with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, which is no dream family here, with the Magician reversed, no longer inspecting every inch of the place, or perhaps of somebody's, maybe in an audit, or losing patience of temper or fallen angel, and burdened by foolish behavior or lack of faith in choosing a path with the King of Wands reversed, or giving half over to the King of Wands reversed, unable to sleep or rising above with no break, or awakening and coming out now about it. And now crowning is the Five of Wands upright, the player in the game, or the playing of the game, the Two of Pentacles juggling or performing for or with the Six of Cups, or with fond memories, getting over loss and regret with the Page of Cups reversed, announcing or pronouncing their freedom, as the Knight of Cups reversed may be jealous, Aquarius and or Aries who are free, so they could be jealous of them being free, and the Knight of Cups reversed was unaware that they were free, with conflict and waves of flames and games being played, and the pursuit of happiness, but the Knight of Cups reversed and the Emperor reversed may be slaving and rising above, while the Queen of Swords is stealing away or talking on the journey about distance between them, and home refusing to wake up, or when they got home, they couldn't wake them up, defending foolish behavior and starting over, or over a loss, insecure without tools, or manipulative, dependent, Knight of Pentacles reversed, over the Queen of Pentacles reversed, which can be a child who thinks they're above their mother, or recovering together after walking away in a split, or from hospital, rehab, and the King of Pentacles offering help, or perhaps bailed them out. Soon here is the Six of Wands upright at 8:16, the dance of the sudden epiphany or sudden event or sexual exchange, perhaps the tango between the man and the woman. The Six of Wands is upright, getting attention with success and leading the way, finding peace as the Knight of Pentacles is offering help to sunshine, kids, pets, or Leo, or paying to expose all, and release from prison or anxiety of the Page of Swords is message, working on something but with issues and stuck, after sudden event or epiphany and unable to sleep or stressed out. Hoarding or floating a coin or award on display for win. That could be achievement, some kind of trophy or grades comes out that's really good. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Queen of Wands reversed, or that energy in their energy, uninspired or frustrated or pissed off, with the King of Cups reversed hermiting and or coming out, and the Queen of Wands reversed over isolating, with the King of Cups reversed, the Hermit reversed, and the King of Wands reversed, with the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles upright, perhaps losing patience with the Ten of Cups upright, supposedly happy family, or that could be the sham fam as well, or Two Cups partnership with perhaps a brother and or a father with dementia that's living with them. And the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups may be kids or pets or lots of messages, and they're happy, but no one else is here as far as adults. With Virgo and Sag reversed, perhaps Cancer upright, with Capricorn or Pisces reversed here too. With finances and career, retreat, engagement, which is bumping a relationship up to the next level, and reconciliation here. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Seven of Swords, passing downloads or messages in separation, heartbreak, or disappointed in a bold move or travel, to ascend or awaken at 8:28, the dance of the twins, and dissatisfied alone or sad heart, as the Page of Wands is inspired to implement a plan and spend or invest. The block here is the Three of Pentacles reversed, with issues at work, purging and buttons pushed, and pushed to the emotional limit or surrender. With adventure and spirituality, but even more so here, karmic completion and communication, the silver and the gold. Not fending off unwanted advances in front of the little lizard, but there's also no reunion here. There's no fresh start. Presently ending pain or a painful ending, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, temptation, or with the Devil or Capricorn, who's the temptation here. The Knight of Pentacles falling for it, or Aries reversed, giving half to the King of Wands reversed, getting up. And the Hierophant or Taurus upright, with the Knight of Swords upright, rushing in with a delivery and knocked for a loop in front of the group. The Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, perhaps with guidance here. Hierophant or Taurus, and the Knight of Wands reversed, recovering from exile of the group and taking steps to be the Empress, or to be with the Empress, where the Emperor and the Empress were reversed in the underlying energies at 8:38 here, which is the dance of the Queen of Cups. And the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands are both reversed also. So either they're one and the same couple, but the Empress is no longer reversed in the main read. She becomes upright, but the Queen of Wands is still reversed. They could be separate people. So it's either she's working on becoming the Empress, and that is her, or they're the same, or at least one couple broke up or is fighting like cats and dogs, with the Empress upright ending up on top, with Taurus and Capricorn waving goodbye or protecting the Empress from the Knight of Swords coming in, or a message or delivery here, or deliverance. Or Taurus and Capricorn knocked for a loop by the Knight of Swords, or delivery, or someone fell carrying too much, or they were going too fast, and the King of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, and the Hierophant or Taurus with that Ten of Pentacles family are between them, the Knight and the King of Wands. Perhaps the Knight of Wands reversed is recovering upstairs with the Empress, or after a miscarriage, or unable to conceive of getting aroused, and the Empress may be pregnant again, but how? Or the Queen of Wands reversed has kids, and the King of Cups and King of Wands both reversed here. Or both kids are actually the King of Wands' kids, or the King of Wands is staying with the King of Cups reversed kids, while the King of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands are on the road or moved out. Stretching, growing, and the inner war of the Six of Cups upright and the Queen of Wands reversed, passing downloads or sneaking information, or information in the clouds, the stars saving for a new start to lead the way, or issues at work or third party, and waves of flames or conflicts and knocked for a loop, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, with dysfunction or loss, with guidance or Hierophant or Taurus, and the Knight of Wands reversed, recovering with 7 or more steps, or the stairway to heaven, or perhaps they're seeing things, or other people see it that way, weakened by growth spurt, to heal and be free, the Six of Cups withholding from the group, and challenged by the King of Pentacles with records, and the Queen of Wands reversed, wanting all the attention and passing messages through third party through work, and no fresh start due to conflicts or fighting, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community dysfunction, and guiding the Knight of Wands reversed to recover and take steps as or for the Empress here at 8:57, the dance of the separation. And then the, yeah, that's it for the read. And then I went into a dream. I heard the news today. Oh boy. So that's coming up. Let's just do a real quick message here with the Animal Spirit deck, and I'll pull you a Journey of Love card. It's 4:07 on the clock. That's that sweet spot of the 4 to 7, airing to the side of the light. And it's 1:35:35 on this clock with the Magician and the 2 Wounded Warriors. All right, so from the Animal Spirit deck, take a deep breath. Whoop, and that came right out. Let's see, was there more than one card? Nope, just the one. Here's the hyena. All right, so somebody's slithering away after perhaps embarrassing themselves. And there's a teacher, right? When the student is ready, the teacher will come. This could be a teacher sending the student away and saying, you're not ready this time. And then there's the firefly. And this could be, you know, some kind of epiphany or sudden stroke of genius. And this could be the teacher saying, well, you might have had a sudden stroke of genius, but that doesn't make you ready to process a whole line of that. Or this can also be the cobra having an epiphany about the hyena here, in a parting of the ways here. And then we have the fox and the fire ants here. And I think the fox is tired of being in this energy all the time. We also have an elephant on the other side here. And the collective awakening here on the ground. The bottom of the deck is the camel, who's very independent, but blue in a lot of dark energy there. They're usually very independent. And they have the golden child here. This could be the golden child, like he's usually good at everything. Maybe they found out they're not good at something, and then they're depressed about that. And there's a worm child underneath that too, which is intimidated easily. So it could be a child, the golden child, who usually is good at everything, found something they're not good at. Maybe they're shy though and easily intimidated. And then here is this energy of the wound or the collective event, right? Where everybody wants a piece of what's going on here, whether it's a fight or an accident or a star being seen. We have the foxy one over here who's very loyal in this deck, and the elephant who's the most benevolent energy in this deck. On the outskirts here, like the gate holders here, at the gates to the concert, trying to get in. And we have the cosmic egg over here, which is the collective awakening, but down on the ground floor, like with the crowds, you know, with the people on the ground level, right along with them, as opposed to raising themselves above them. This is doing like right in there with the crowds, right? It's someone not placing themselves above the crowd, but actually joining the crowd in order to help raise the vibration. From the side's perspective, right? There's different positions here. There are going to be people who are in that above perspective because they're doing more angelic realm work. And then there's the others in the 3D, more of the masculine gate holders on the 3D, right? Being there with the troops, right there with the troops, kind of energy coming up. So again, this could be someone who's usually good at everything, now being seen as the hyena, being turned away from something because they're not ready. Kind of being humbled, right? Because that never happens to them. And that could be someone who usually puts themselves above others, and this is the others saying, we don't see things that way. We're all equals here. We're not one above the others. And that could be humbling to somebody, obviously, who's used to getting their own way or used to being the center of attention. So then we have the journey of love. So from the journey of love, 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 love. It's 4:11 on the clock, so emergently, you need some love, 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 love. Love is all you need. Burning hero. That's the feminine empress energy. Burning into light. This is definitely war energy. There's that energy of Jesus like rolling around the outside with people burning from within as well. And across the waters is the 23 of the King of Wands, and yet it's the feminine energy in the wall within, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like the feminine sending light to the war zones here, right? To alchemize. So you might want to, let's take a minute now to actually take a deep breath and then send your positive love light to any areas around the world in that energy. Wrap it around your heart, that bright white light, and then slowly diffuse it out through your own body, your legs, your arms, your head, and out through your aura clairs, out to the field, out to your neighborhood, out to your country, out to your world. And seeing yourself tapping that pure white light all around the world, clearing all that dark energy out. Sending lots of love to raise their vibrations, to help others to be strong, stand in their light. And here we have the feminine standing within, the masculine standing without, and both praying, right, for the world to be healed. And just for this moment, to jump for joy and raise that vibration. The 46 of the inner children loving each other together is such a powerful energy. To raise your arms up in the air and be strong. Remember that 144-degree angle between the arms up in the air and the leg, and then the 236 sections up above, which is 72 altogether, the 72 by 2 and the 144. Reach your arms up in the air and stretch and send out that joy and allow the light to be received. To distant shores of that purple moon to help others come into that 0 point field. And again, the full moon in June comes up here. So we just had the full moon. The full moon is, I think I got it mixed up. The full moon in June, I think, is the 14th, or the new moon is the 28th. So either which way. So I think the full moon would make sense that it's June 14th. Okay. And then the next card is the legacy of light. It's like Jesus afterward, like holding the light, I always get in like a sleeping bag with holding somebody else in need over here. The legacy of light of the messenger of truth, the Knight of Swords here in the purple moon as the divine feminine leads the way. So it keeps going back and forth of the ground troops of the masculine and the etheric troops of the feminine here, right? Able to wrangle that snake. And then the bottom of the deck being the Christ flame. So it's very much the Christ, Mary Magdalene energy coming up here at Easter time. The 31 of the chaos of life that it is. And the 31 is that 5 of Wands of the conflict. Which also can be, it can be war, it can be battles, it can be fighting, it can be competition, but it also can be the pursuit of happiness and games and fun. And there's the cosmic butterfly of the mother and the Atlas energy of the weight of the world on their shoulders. The cosmic butterfly, as the butterfly came up today in the solar plexus of the mother's womb, right? When she's nervous because her son's at war. That's the energy coming up right there in the underlying energy. So instead of worrying, sending love light and joy from within to raise the vibration, instead of worrying, which only pulls the energy down more and it doesn't help. So helping others to raise their energy by showing them to be in that love, light, and joy, as opposed to the grief and worry, which you always feel is, you know, you're not a good person unless you're grieving for someone else who may be struggling. But it's actually the opposite of that. You want to raise the collective energy by staying in that love, light, and staying in that joy. So just allow yourself that moment, even if it's just for a moment, if you can't handle it otherwise, just that moment of a smile or joy or some big love energy to someone that you love who's around you. Okay, so there's that energy of the war within and the war without, of the burning heroes, of the feminine, and this is Gaia as well, right? The turmoil within herself. And then we have the masculine and feminine here of emotional fulfillment and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here. Right? You know, this is the masculine going within, without, and here's the feminine like going out, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but within. So you see the opposite play there. And then again, just for the moment, joy, the joy of the child within, to allow yourselves that joy, right, of the coil. And here again is the distant shores of the 0 point of reflecting that out to the world, to allow that joy everywhere around the world, into that 5D energy as opposed to the 3D energy. And then again, the energy of the masculine and feminine, of the masculine holding the sleeping bags and the children, right, and camping out, and the feminine having a handle on the Kundalini rising here in the etheric realms and leading the way. Very interesting. Okay, so we're just going to read the 2 books and then we'll be all set. So we have number 3 and then the hyena. So the hyena. Hyena is under the fire energy, humor, wit, and sarcasm. The hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but below the surface, there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or to mask things that you feel are uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? When in balance, charming, witty, fun to be around, and when out of balance, scrappy, petty, and suspicious. To bring back into balance, sobriety, okay, whether that's sobriety from alcohol or anything else. You're just getting really clear on what's important to you. And that brings you right back into that balance. Like I was talking about just being a little off in the past couple days, because I wasn't trusting my own knowing. You know, I was being too affected by other people's opinions. So, number 3. Burning hero. From the transformative fires of life's tests, you emerge now stronger in self-belief, overcoming self-doubt and fear, and shedding the layers that have held you back from burning as a naked flame of divine love. Can you perceive the coolness fast approaching to soothe your fire-weary soul? Peace is coming to you now, a respite from the fire, before you are ready to burn into love again. The intensity of fire exists in relationship to cool serenity, and you're capable of experiencing both. Your inner fire has pushed you forward, and your creative self-expression will manifest into the most beautiful forms. This is assured. You burn bright now, and yet it will be the cooling of your soul embers that replenishes you and inspires you to new creative depths and heights in due time. This oracle brings you a message. From the heat of your labor, sweet success will arise, and you can act now as if that success has already been made manifest. It's only a matter of time before it is so. From that success, new levels of experience and creative manifestation will take place. You're in a powerful creative cycle of intensity and serenity, dancing with each other through your heart like the sweet relationship of night and day. This cycle yields great harvest. Offer yourself in contribution to the greater good, and your harvest will not only be of earthly delight, but of heavenly blessings too. And the poem reads, always, feeling your love in every cell of my being, I open my soul, becoming one in your embrace. How rich the moments shared, I savor every one, and even when apart, your love envelops me, with knowing we are complete. Together like a new day, we are born. Remember your water, your sleep, your joy and your nature and follow your own guidance. And rise and be love. And breathe. I'll see you soon, guys. Have an amazing day. Love you guys. Hang in there.